Welcome back to the Prof G and Shively Knicks Play Podcast. Matt, good to see you for episode 14 and our season finale, season 1.
Wow, it's amazing that we have come this far, 14 episodes, and it's been a great first season of our sports here for us, at least covering it at Justice University. So we're really excited for that.
I'd have to go back and find out how many games we called, but it was I think it was good because it wasn't also the crazy busy season, which people tuning in for season 2, a little sneak preview. It will be a little bit crazy busy next semester.
It will be. It will be.
Nice to get our wheels under us and that sort of thing without 50 games or whatever it's going to be. So pretty crazy. Yeah, so today, it's been a couple of weeks since we talked. Last week, we released a podcast that we recorded earlier about the conferences. Hopefully that was helpful. But we are going to jump into kind of a review of the men's basketball season thus far and maybe a couple things about what's on the horizon. So what do you think? They played some big games and started off pretty strong this season. They have.
They've had a lot of, I would say, positive things happen. They've had some games where they played much tougher opponents that are much higher levels than them, and they hung. And a lot of the time you saw them, they were within 10 points at the half for Idaho State. I think they were only down 8 at the half. And then, late that game, the D1 team showed up. But then you saw taking care of business against Navajo Tech in all 4 games, putting up some high scores on them. Park was a heartbreaker. They played them down to the buzzer. The buzzer beater layup went in and out on that one. That easily could have been a victory, and that's when their Park stud dropped over 40 points on them that game. So they were able to kind of hang and have a chance at a win at the end. So they're showing some resilience. They're showing a lot of athleticism, lockdown D, some timely threes starting to show up early on when they were playing NAU and when they played Embry-Riddle. They couldn't buy a 3, and they weren't even taking that many. But now they're starting to find a natural rhythm where they can hit threes. Again, their defense is going to lead the offense, and we've seen that as of late, especially in the CPU game that we got to call a week ago or so. And so that's and a lot of players are just kind of fluctuating in summer. Where one's not having a great game, and a different guy has been stepping up each night. It's been fun to watch as well.
Yeah, I think the first game I got to see, obviously because Embry-Riddle was out of town, first game I got to see was the NAU game because that was on ESPN+. And listening to the NAU announcers, the whole first half, they kind of were asking themselves, who is this school we're playing? Because they were hanging the whole first half, and I think they went in down, I want to say 13 or 14 at halftime. And then the second half, at one point, they were late in the second half, and they were leading. They were winning that half against NAU, and I think that surprised a lot of people. Now, the final score didn't look very good because then you put the gas on at the very end. But that was impressive. And then, like you said, same thing with Park. And it's really cool to see these guys hanging with the bigger schools. I was out of town when you called the first 2 Navajo Tech games, but to win by 80 and 60 or something like that, and then to go on the road at Navajo Tech and get 2 more huge wins. These guys are playing strong. I think the thing that stood out to me last week in the game that we called was there was a moment where I think Coach BJ was kind of like, okay, this is enough of this. We can't be playing tight here. We're better than this. And he put the full court press on, that tight lockdown D you were talking about, and suddenly the game got out of hand in favor of the Lions. So it's nice to see that they have that switch to hit if they need it. I'm sure BJ would like them to play that way from start to finish. But it was really cool to see that they had that switch. They also put up their big guy put up 37 on us, I think, 2 or 39. 39. So in a sense, though, I'd rather you lock down the entire team and you make one guy beat you with 40, and that's he's not going to score 80. So
no, you can overcome that, right? Yeah. And I think was it out of the halftime break where it was like a minute in, BJ didn't like what he saw, and he changed out 4 guys.
Looked like a hockey line change,
And it worked, and they stepped up from there. And I think the CPU got it down to
9.
Yeah, under 10 at least. And then that's when they stepped on the gas.
I think that was more of a message sent than anything else. That was like, we need more effort than this. Let's pull these guys out. They got some effort from the bench, and then they put the starters back in. Let's try this again.
Right.
So, very interesting to watch. Any standouts this year so far that you've not necessarily been surprised by, but just that have stood out?
Right. And, we knew their size was going to be a question mark going into the season. They don't have a lot of super tall guys and natural fives on the roster. But Jimmy Kazi has really been a force down low, even though he's not. I think he's only 6'5".
And he's playing a lot bigger than he is.
He plays a lot bigger than he is. He's very broad-shouldered and very strong down there. And so he's really been impressive, been a monster on the boards, and really, some good putbacks and stuff like that.
The nice thing on that one, too, is that other schools in our conference and things are going to be very similar in the sense that they're not going to recruit the 7-foot true fives. They're going to have a smaller lineup, which we saw against CPU, against Navajo Tech. So when we got a guy that may only be 6'5", 6'6", but is playing like he's huge, it showed. Like when Jimmy came back in the game against CPU, it was like, oh, he basically took over when he came back in the second half. So
right. And then, early on those first few games you talked about, like I didn't see much from Nizier Brown. He's really come on as of late. He was the high scorer of that CPU game, I believe. 27 points. And then Marshall Curley's been hitting some key threes. He's become kind of the clutch three guy off the bench, which has really been good. And then the guards, kind of the triple-headed guard of which I guess J.D. Walker might be more of a –
he's kind of a 2-3.
He's more of a 2-3. But Vontae Irving and Ray King, they've been really good. And they're the two that have – and Walker as well – been taking turns taking over and not afraid to keep feeding.
Yeah, because Ray started as a high scorer against NAU. Yeah. I think he scored 25 or something against the D1.
Yeah.
And then JD, I think, took the second game as like the leader. Yeah. Vontae helped a lot in that CPU game, coming in with the energy he came in with. And at one point I said, there's one thing you don't have to wonder, and that's if he can jump or not. I mean, that guy gets up.
Yeah.
He went up and got a rebound. I told him after the game, I'm like, I think you were at the middle or the top of the square when you got that board off the board. So, yeah, I agree. And then, having Gabe Bird in the backcourt has really helped too in the point guard position.
Yeah.
Kind of wondered after Kareem Parks left. And I know we have, Demetrius Valdez and some other guys that are points on there too, but we kind of had a question mark about who's going to facilitate.
Demetrius Valdez and Devin Miller, I think, have been the standouts defensively.
Mm-hmm.
They are just lockdown defenders, and they like defense. They like to get their hands dirty on D, and Miller showed that he can score the ball as well. And so it's really, he didn't play a lot his first year.
I was going to say he's earned his spot this year. He's put in 2 or 3 years. Yeah,
he's fought for that time, and So I'm really excited to see his progression as well.
I think the one we'd be remiss if we didn't mention is Jaden Cameron. He was when he came in, he was a 3-point shooter, kind of a mid-range jumper. He's going to the lane. He even dunked a couple times in one of the games.
Yeah, and
good to see the aggressiveness.
Some good distributing as well from him. He can pass that ball off to Kazi or whoever's down low. And, Willie Frager or whoever it is. And so
let's just name the whole team.
I know. I want to throw some names out. You get them all.
It's tough being a professor at the school too, because you're like, I don't want to miss somebody and have them walk up and say, hey, what's up? Why didn't you mention me? But yeah, if we could, we'd have something to say about most of the guys that have been in there, and they've been able to go deep in the bench in some of the games we've gotten to see because they've been, lopsided victories. So it's been cool for us to be able to see those guys. They have a lot coming up next semester. Unfortunately, not another home game until the first week of January.
Right.
But they are going this weekend on ESPN Plus again, I believe, Utah Tech. And then they have a couple other games right around Christmas time, I think, before they come back home.
A couple California games for some
Westcliff and
Hope International. I think those both should be countables.
Yep. So right now, and we were having this discussion before we came on and recorded the podcast, but they've got a different record than what we're hearing, but it's got to be about the countable games, because the public record that they're putting out there is 5-3, which would be the 4 wins against Navajo Tech plus the CPU win.
Right.
And the losses would be Idaho State, Embry-Riddle, and Northern New Mexico.
Which that game they led at the half.
Led that one at the half. Park they lost with. That wasn't accountable, but right? Wasn't accountable?
That was accountable. That was one of their losses.
Idaho State.
Not Idaho State.
Not Idaho State. They didn't count that. Okay.
Yeah. Park,
Embry-Riddle, and Northern New Mexico. Yeah. So Park had a game winner rim out. Northern New Mexico they hung with, both bigger programs. Embry-Riddle was the first game of the year, and they
only lost by about 24, 26.
24. And isn't Embry-Riddle ranked nationally, I think, in there?
They might be, yeah. They're 20. Yeah, they lost by 24 on their first game in elevation. Yeah. So I think this. I mean,
I love being a homer. We always find a reason why.
Prescott's not crazy elevation. It's like 6,000 feet, but still.
Is it even that?
I don't
it's
even
like 4,500, but that's
okay. I'm gonna go high on that one. We can give them
benefit of the doubt. Yep.
Yeah, when they play here, we'll really see though. We'll really see. So that'll be good. A nice little as you are making a New Year's resolution. Maybe you should make one to watch more basketball and catch us on the YouTube.
Catch us on the YouTube. How old are you, man? listen, uncle. Isn't that what the kids call you, Unc?
Just Unc, yeah.
Yeah, it's not uncle. See, that's how old I am. I said uncle. Anyway, so next semester, obviously tons of basketball to watch, tons of baseball to watch. I think you said 40 plus games of baseball to watch. Sand volleyball starting up next semester.
They've been practicing over at Gilbert Regional Park. I've heard they're getting used to the sand out there.
We need to get the coach on here with us for a little season preview.
Yeah.
Because I still need to figure out the formatting because I think it's 4 pairs of 2 for sand volleyball, and that's their roster is 8, maybe 10. But I don't know how that all works because it's pretty much all the girls from court volleyball. Not all the girls, but all of the players on sand are pretty much the same ladies that were on the court team. So
right, and
a new coach.
I bumped into the coach in the office the other day, and I was asking her how it's going. She's like, they were struggling a little bit with how hard it is on the sand, and but they're excited that it's going to cause them to get in shape fast. Running in the sand, it works different muscles, and they're picking up on that real fast. But
you need some good sand too. Hopefully, they don't have many matches where they're playing on not so good sand because that can hurt. When I was little and not this big, I actually played some sand volleyball, and that was you trudge through the good sand because you're sinking into it, but the bad sand's not great either because then you're falling on your face and almost like rocks.
You get some strong calf muscles for sure.
Exactly. So lots to look forward to next semester and the start of season 2 of the Next Play podcast.
Yeah.
And for this semester, though, finals are one day away from being over. By the time this is broadcast and you're listening to it, finals might be over with. So unless you listen bright and early, maybe you wake up and prep for finals by listening to the Next Play podcast. I
think that's a guaranteed letter grade higher than you would have got otherwise.
It's got to be in Matt Shively's class.
Right. Yeah. I mean, definitely.
But otherwise, we want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. Those of you that have been listening and supporting the broadcast and the podcast for the first full season here. And just subtle victories. We've been getting like 100 plus 150 views on our broadcast, which I didn't think was going to happen that fast, which is good. So thank y'all out there for tuning in. Continue to spread the word. If you don't already, subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Prof G and Shively. You can also subscribe to YouTube at Prof G and Shively so that you're made aware of the broadcast. I feel like I'm a little subscribe here and click the little notification bell. Smash that like button. Yeah, I didn't say that one. Anyway, so Merry Christmas to you guys. Have a Happy New Year, and we would look forward to touching base and connecting again at the start of 2026. How crazy is that?
Wow.
For Matt Shively, I'm Prof G, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.